Bank Fire Chief, Chief Dave Tibbetts, our Marrero Harvey Volunteer Fire Company Chief, Chief Don Robertson, our Director of Public Works, Mark Drews, our Chief Administrative Assistant, Ms. Sarah Babcock. We're also very fortunate to have some of our council members present today. Councilman at Large Ricky Template, Councilman for District 4 Dominic Impastato, and Councilman for District 3 Byron Lake. So I want to thank everybody for being here, and every one of those people will probably brief you. Again, a lot of this information we're repeating night after night. I don't know how often people are tuning in. These are very important resources, and I want to make sure you can find it all in one place. So I am going to be repeating a lot of things tonight, and if you're someone who tunes in every night, you're hearing the same thing again. But again, these are important resources that I want to make sure people know about, and I want to give people like one video that they can kind of go to and see everything. And so tonight especially, I'm going to repeat a lot of this information so it's all in one place in this one video, plus all of the resources on our website. So I'm going to start with our emergency operations number, 504-349-5360. I want to make sure everybody understands the FEMA deadlines that are coming up. You currently have until September 12th to be considered for specific assistance related to urgent needs or power outages. Also, the rapid financial assistance for critical needs, that's food, water, fuel for transportation, prescription medications. I'm told this is the $500 that you get. And then the expedited rental assistance for people who have evacuated to hotels or need to relocate because of power outages. Those programs all have a September 12th deadline, so please be mindful of that. For other FEMA assistance, such as grants for damage and serious needs not covered by insurance, that deadline is October 28th. So please pay attention to this. Go to disasterassistance.gov and understand all the different deadlines so you don't miss any of those programs, or call 1-800-621-3362. Applicants can also visit a FEMA in person at more than 20 locations in Louisiana. We currently have a FEMA a mobile registration intake center in Jefferson Parish from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. 7 days a week until further notice. So right now they're at 2 locations, at the Jefferson Parish Health Unit, 1855 Ames Boulevard in Marrero, and at the Lafitte Senior Center at 4927 Treasure Drive in Lafitte. So after a few days, these locations are going to move around. So please make sure you go to our website, www.jeffparish.net, and look at that Hurricane Ida and Recovery banner, and look at our community resources page, and you'll find the latest location of these FEMA mobile registration intake centers. If you go to the FEMA tab that we have, it'll just take you directly to the FEMA link. But if you go to the community resources page that we have, it'll tell you the locations of these temporary mobile units. I want to remind everyone to apply for Blue Roof at blueroof.us or 888-ROOF-BLUE. That's 888-ROOF-BLU. or 888-766-3258. Again, this is run by the Corps of Engineers for FEMA. I was just told by Robin that over 15,449 Jefferson Parish people have applied for the Blue Roof program so far. Today is a really good day in that probably since the Monday after the storm, we have had to send people away who needed immediate needs of food, water, shelter, medical care. We could not keep them in this community at that time. So they have been in Alexandria or Bastrop, and today many of those people have returned to our community. So that is wonderful news. That is a great sign of our recovery, that we always said we'll bring them back when we're a stronger community and we can handle it, and today is one of those days. So Sarah Babcock is going to give you more details on their return home if you are looking to meet up with someone. Our parish offices will be open on Monday. So this includes our general government building on the West Bank and our Yenny building on the East Bank. Also, our Jefferson Protection Animal Welfare Services building on the West Bank location is open. That's at 2701 Lapalco in Harvey. Our East Bank facility suffered damage, so it's just the West Bank JPAWS facility is open. Now, parks and playgrounds, as well as some libraries, will remain closed until further notice due to damaged and downed trees and poles. So please look at our website, again, jeffparish.net. Click on the Hurricane Ida recovery banner, and then look at parish service updates, and you can get a detail of when our different programs are going to be starting up. But again, our two main campuses for Jefferson Parish government, the GGB, the Yenny building, as well as the West Bank JPAWS animal location is going to be open. Many food distributions going on today. Johnny Jacobs distribution of water, MREs, and ice. Tarrytown Golden Age Center had a second harvest food distribution. Little Zion Church did a distribution of water, MREs, and ice. Mount Hermon had a second harvest food distribution. Toll Lafreniere Park had an ice distribution. So we want to thank everybody for that. And I believe Lieutenant Colonel Riley is here to talk about more of the pod distributions that we've been having going on. Again, check out the storm debris map at jeffparish.net. They're still on the first pass, but you can see the location by parish as to the storm debris and what pass they're on. They're going to do 3 passes in your neighborhood, so check out that map and understand where they are. Okay, Red Cross, I want to thank them. Met some wonderful people today from Pennsylvania and North Carolina, I believe, 3 wonderful ladies. They're going to be helping us with our shelter operations at 3 locations. So King's Grant is going to be a shelter operation, and then we can expand to Pard and Lemon Playground if need be. So again, this is people who need shelter, or some of the people that are coming back from Alexandria or Bastrop and need a place to stay. And Sarah, again, will brief you on that. So our nightly curfew will end tomorrow at 6 a.m. So tonight is the last night of the nightly curfew. It's going to end tomorrow at 6 a.m. Grand Isle, teams are on Grand Isle, firefighter, police, also the Sheriff's Office, JPSO, Louisiana Sheriff's Association, Louisiana National Guard, as well as EMS teams, and they were joined today by many firefighters from Jacksonville, Florida. I'm actually going to head to Grand Isle tomorrow. Team members on the ground are assisting our Public Works Department with locating and turning off all those water meters. Obviously, Mark was explaining that last night. Clearing roads and side streets. They're going to begin 24-hour operations tonight, and several other missions, including delivering water, ice, MREs, and tarps. We want to thank United Way for their great donation of cleaning supplies, and that's going to be given out to the residents tomorrow. So many commodities on site, but again, thank you for United Way, and so many of the groups down there that are helping us rebuild Grand Isle. Lafitte, the bridge is operational. Many people were able to get to their homes in Barataria today. Our public crews are working down on John Lafitte Boulevard in Lower Lafitte and trying to help. You know, as I said, there's a lot of muds that are on people's driveways. That's the first step of cleaning up, so we were trying to help many of those people get the mud from their driveways. Lots of Entergy trucks, lots of subcontractors from Entergy on the Barataria side. So, and again, we're making significant progress in dewatering the Barataria side. I want to remind everyone that Uber and Lyft are helping with our recovery. They're offering some free rides if you need a ride to get some food, water, ice, or a shelter bus pickup. So use the code for Uber, Ida Relief 2021, and for Lyft, Ida Relief 21. Again, our donations, the donations you've given to the parish, we have been pushing out to our community. They have been so very critical for us. If you have donations or you know somebody who's still willing to donate, we still need them, please email donations@jeffparish.net. AT&T, we want to thank them for the 2 charging stations at Station 20 on Hudson in Metairie and Station 81 on MacArthur in Harvey. That's also where your oxygen tanks can be switched out. But AT&T added the following firehouse stations for cell phone charging stations. So 341 Heritage in Tarrytown and 1115 Mississippi Avenue in Metairie. And Verizon deployed a wireless emergency communications center located at 8912 Veterans Boulevard in Metairie, where residents can take advantage of free cell phone charging and Wi-Fi access from 9 to 5. Again, as I've mentioned for the staff for the past several days, our transit department is providing buses to serve as cooling stations at fire departments in Avondale and Wagaman volunteer fire stations, as well as the free Lifeline Transit, which is fare-free to a limited amount of routes. So again, the E1 Veterans, the E2 Airline, the E3 Kenner Local, W1 Avondale, W3 Lapalco, and W10 Huey P. Long. Our garbage pickup, Mark will give an update on that. He thinks we're only about a half week behind, Mark. Is that what you just said? Okay. Half day, Mark will give you more detail about it, but we're about a half day behind on our normal schedule. A lot of progress being made on that front. Again, recycling is suspended until further use. And again, please separate your regular garbage from your storm debris. I'll say it again for the Louisiana Department of Insurance number. I know there's a lot of insurance questions. That number is 1-800-259-5300, option number 4. So I know I heard from both school systems, our public school system as well as our Catholic school system. You need to stay in touch. I'm told that they're communicating directly to the parents and the families via email and text. They're assessing all of their buildings, so please stay in touch directly with those systems on your local school opening. And then I want to, again, as what I said yesterday, please, our Public Information Office has really done a great job in trying to centralize all of these resources for you. We're going to keep it up to date because we know how critical it is for you to have real-time information. jeffparish.net, click on that IDA response and recovery page. For storm debris maps for businesses, you can get a link to JEDCO, the Blue Roof Program, the FEMA Assistance Disaster Loan Program, the SBA Disaster Loan Program, the Entergy Outage Map, news and information including all of our press releases and press conferences, our government building information, to sign up for JP Alert, and as well as what I mentioned, the community resources. That's going to tell you where our pods are going, where shelters are, open pharmacies. So please pay attention to that because we are going to try to keep that up to date for you to be a very good resource for you as we move on. Again, as I mentioned, as still some traffic lights are out, we know many people still do not have electricity. Please be careful of all the threats that are out in our community. We are still not pre-storm. Again, we are making incredible headway. I think that's something that we're all very proud of. But please be careful with the dangers out there. There's still traffic lights out. There's still maybe debris or trees in the roadway, and it's still very dark at night. Okay, I do want to make a comment about this, and I know Sarah is going to talk about it more. But since this storm, I believe we only had in Jefferson Parish one death directly attributable to this storm, which is just incredible. And I'm sorry for the one death that we did have. And then we had an additional 6 post-storm. But during the same time, since this storm, we've lost 42 people to COVID. So all of the resources that we've done since this storm and pre-storm and trying to save lives, and then we've still lost 42 people. That's 42 grieving families to COVID. So please, you know, I know when you're dealing with one crisis, it's easy to forget another. I've been walking around here for the past week, everybody, sounding like a broken record, to please wear the mask and social distance, because I was worried that our teams were going to be put on the bench at a time when our community needed us most. Probably been a pain in the behind to everybody in this building, but that was my only concern, because we cannot forget the COVID crisis just because we're fighting and recovering from Hurricane Ida. So let's all stay strong, and let's all take care of our families and our loved ones by not forgetting about COVID. As I mentioned, tomorrow I'll be in Grand Isle all day. This is going to be our last 7 p.m. briefing, but I want everybody to make sure to stay tuned to jeffparish.net and follow us on all our social media pages. Understand, you know, we had this daily briefing every day since the storm to make sure, as information was changing so very quickly, we wanted to make sure, and everybody was out of town, we wanted to make sure you got the most important information on a daily basis. But we will still keep you up to date. We will just schedule briefings, or we will push it out on our social media pages as well, or we'll push out briefings to the media. So don't feel like we're letting up. This is just the end of the daily briefings. I understand that for many people, the biggest tragedy you had was just electrical outage, and maybe your cable or internet are down. I understand another group of people maybe had temporary damage. They can live in their homes, but it'll be several months before they get the exterior of their homes fixed. And I certainly understand, unfortunately, many of our citizens who lost everything. And our commitment to you is to be there to rebuild our community no matter what pocket of group you are in, okay? So please know that that is our commitment as a Jefferson Parish government, and the commitment of all of the people up here with me, that we will not forget, especially those people who lost everything. And we're going to push you the resources and get you the credible information to help you rebuild your lives. Okay, with that, I want to introduce our Sheriff Joseph Lapinto.
Thank you, Madam President. Traffic, and more traffic is going to be the theme, I guess, over the next couple of weeks. We know there's going to be a large influx of people coming in to respond to this hurricane. We want you to be patient, understand that traffic is going to exist. We're going to try to shift some of our resources to some of the traffic lights that are still out over this period of time. Although the curfew will end tomorrow morning, we will still have double patrols, both of my watches, day watch and night watch from all shifts, at least and through next week. The purpose of that is knowing that the exceeding traffic is going to be there. I want to make sure we can still have a very fast response time to any calls for service that come about. So be rest assured that our deputies will be out there in numbers to be able to try to continue to keep Jefferson Parish safe. We have several new solvings of burglaries today. As I said before, if your house was burglarized and you have not reported it, please do so. We are making arrests on a daily basis. If you were one of those burglars, turn yourself in. You got a lot better chance of coming in and begging for forgiveness than us finding you and asking a judge for it later. We have that ability to make that happen, but we want to be able to solve and get people back their property if we can. So turn yourself in if that's the case. If not, face the consequences, because my guys are coming for you. I want to also just take a personal note. Our deputies have been on the street for the last 10 days, actually probably 14 now when you talk about pre-storm. They've got families at home that have evacuated that they haven't seen during that period of time, including my own. I want to really thank those families for supporting their loved ones that are here, being able to do the job. They haven't stopped. They have worked. They haven't complained. They understand what the job is, and they've really done a great job for it. My wife, Lauren, and 2 kids, they come back home tomorrow. I know, for them it's been a long road, but rest assured the Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Office has really performed at peak performance to make things happen and get things accomplished over the last week. And more of a personal note, I'd be remiss to say today is September 9th, and probably my mother is my biggest fan. Happy birthday, Mom. It's her birthday today, so take the opportunity to tell her, and she'll probably kill me later for it, but it's worth it. Thank you all very much.
Thank you so much, Sheriff. Our next speaker is Lieutenant Colonel Barry Riley from the Louisiana National Guard.
Thank you, Madam President. Starting off with the pods, we still continue to maintain the 4 pods operating throughout Jefferson Parish, Alario Center, Zephyr Center, Helen Cox High School, and Johnny Bright. The times have not changed, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., 7 days a week. Looking at the statistics, over the last 14 days, vehicle traffic, 54,000, MREs issued, 505,000, water bottles issued, 680,000, ice, 970,000, and tarps, 20,800. We also operate hubs at spoke distro locations. 2 of those changed today. I'll give you those locations right now. The Avondale Volunteer Fire Department, the Little Zion Baptist Church, Live Oak Manor Fire Department, and the Jean Lafitte Fishery Market. We continue to support law enforcement by providing security throughout Jefferson Parish. As those security missions arise, we're prepared to go to those locations and provide much-needed relief for the Jefferson Parish Sheriff's Office, as well as local law enforcement. As far as the ribbon bridge operations go that the Parish President mentioned, as of 1700, 489 vehicles have crossed that bridge. I'd like to give a special shout-out to the 225th Bridge Unit in Morello, a local bridge unit here in Jefferson Parish. Route clearance in Grand Isle is continuing. Over 4 miles have been cleared thus far, and we're prepared and ready to clear many more. We are prepared to push more support south as the parish requirements increase. We are here, we are trained, we are equipped, we are prepared to protect what matters. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lieutenant Colonel Riley. Next is Patrick Hamby from Entergy.
Thank you very much. Patrick Hamby from Entergy, Louisiana. I'm going to go straight to the heart of the message, the meat, if you will, because I want everyone to hear, what they want to hear the most. When are my lights coming back on? When I was in the parking lot about 30 minutes ago, we had 30,000 customers that remained without power in Jefferson Parish. I just checked it 2 minutes ago. We're down to 26,000 customers. So we are working with thousands of workers as we speak right now, this evening, into the night, as long as it takes. We're not going to stop till every last light is turned on. So here's the important part. Number one, we anticipate restoring power to the majority of that remaining amount of 26,000 customers tonight. The large majority of that's coming on tonight. If your power does not come on tonight, you can expect it to come on tomorrow. Now that is if you're not obviously in the southern parts of Jefferson Parish with the most damages down towards Grand Isle in that area. And also, you have to consider if you have damages to your home or your electrical equipment, the weatherhead, the meter pan, you're not going to be able to receive power as well. So our restoration plan worked extremely well. We've used it since 2005, all the way, starting with Katrina through the multitude of hurricanes that unfortunately we have to deal with, but living in this community, it's worth it. The first step was the damage assessments. We got those knocked out in the 3 to 5 day time period, largely. That was anticipated. The damages were catastrophic. Over 30,000 poles versus Katrina, where we had 17,000 poles, and those are damaged or down poles. The next phase, which we have planned for, was to get all the hospitals back on, with emergency rooms, that is, the critical care hospitals with emergency rooms. We did that. We did that at the very next phase. Then we go on to getting on the largest amounts of customers that are located on the electrical distribution feeders that have the least amount of damage. We must do that in order to keep up with this record-breaking pace. There will be customers, I mentioned it last night, that are not left behind, but we'll have to pick them up after the fact so that we can keep up with this record pace. And that will be either today or tomorrow. And that's for customers who can accept power and are not located in the heaviest damaged areas of the parish in the southern portions of it. This was a historic storm. Everyone knows it. We've heard it, but we've seen it over and over, multiple images. It has literally changed the landscape of parts of Jefferson Parish permanently. It's going to be a massive effort to rebuild. We are in Grand Isle, and we are working to make it stronger than it was before and more resilient than it was before, so that if another storm does come our way, we will be prepared as we possibly can. Entergy, the parish, our customers were prepared as well. We had a historic response. Nothing will keep Entergy down. Nothing will keep the people who live in this community down. I know it. I see it in their eyes. I hear it in their voice, the confidence, the strength. It's real. We are going to rebuild our communities, and Entergy is not leaving until every single light is on and you have that foundation to rebuild your home from an electrical standpoint. I will mention this again from a historical restoration, estimate of restoration viewpoint for a Category 4, and that goes all the way back to Katrina. Not dozens, but Katrina, Rita, Gustav, Ike, Isaac, Laura, Delta, Zeta, now Ida. But before Ida, that time period to get 90% restored on average for a Category 4, and this storm was just 7 miles per hour shy of a Category 5, but that time period was 21 days to get to where we are, and I'll tell you where we are in a minute, but 21 days. We hit that target for the state yesterday. That is on day 10. That's over half or twice as quick as we had done on average in the past. We will hit that 90% number for Jefferson Parish tonight. That is on day 11, almost twice as fast, 47-point-something%. It's amazing. It's heroic. It took a team, not only of Entergy, not only of 41 states, not only of 26,000 line workers and restoration workers and vegetation workers. It took our customers too. Your patience, your understanding, your preparation helped with the whole project, and it could not be done without everyone involved. For those of you without power, I know that it's not pleasant. I feel your pain. We are coming to your house, and we are going to get electricity available to you as soon as you can take it. For those that can take it, again, the majority will be restored tonight. The remainder will be tomorrow. I'm going to go back to the mantra, the thing I like to repeat every time, especially when we get to the second half of a restoration effort. Please go to the EnergyStormCenter.com website. There's a link at the top, very easy. It says, what's yours, what's ours. It has a graphic with pictures for overhead service or the underground service of what you as a customer is responsible to repair. You have to hire a licensed electrician, make those repairs, work with the parish. They have an emergency permit process in place to help expedite that, and we will get power to you as quickly as possible. I have to give a big thanks again to the parish, to our customers, to the Emergency Operations Center, all of the agencies from the federal government, the local governments, everyone, statewide governments that have helped, the 41 states that sent their loved ones down here, those 26,000 linemen, vegetation workers, restoration workers, the logistic workers, the people doing the laundry, the people getting the lodging available, the people bringing in flotels, the people bringing in the specialized equipment from a 450-foot crane used to take out the lines out of the Mississippi River so we could open up to commerce. It was a unique, challenging, historic, but heroic restoration effort, and thank you very much for everyone's help. It could not have been done without the pre-planning, the coordination with the parish, the Emergency Operations Center, and the teamwork, which is real, and we love our customers. It's not something I'm saying. It is true. We're here for you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Patrick. Okay, our next speaker will be the Director of Public Affairs for Cox, Sharon Truxillo.
Good evening, everyone. I have a few updates tonight. Cox crews are continuing to work to ensure that our customers in our greater New Orleans service area are getting connected to their services as soon as possible. As of 3 p.m. today, nearly 70% of our customers in greater New Orleans are back online. In Jefferson Parish, that's 57% of our customers online. While we are making progress, we realize that some of you have been without your services for quite a while now. We realize this is not a good experience at all, and restoring your service is something that we take very seriously. We're not going to rest until you're reconnected. Our crews will continue to work through the weekend with the hope that the majority of our customers are connected to their services by the end of the day Sunday. There will be some areas that will take longer to repair. Those are areas that are harder hit, that sustain significant pole damage and or fiber damage. For instance, Lower Jefferson Parish and John Lafitte may take a little bit longer to restore. Our pace of restoring services to our customers is due to the steady restoration of power, coupled with the hundreds of personnel we have deployed on the ground. We would like to again thank our crews and contractors from 8 states who are helping us in our recovery efforts. Our repairs will continue to follow the power company's work, since vital components of the Cox network are attached to utility poles. Much of our network restoration is done in our equipment centers, but be assured that we're working around the clock to restore your services. Damage to equipment over a mile away from your home may be why services are still offline. If Cox-owned equipment inside of a customer's home was damaged, we would ask that customers return it to Cox so that it can be disposed of in an environmentally friendly way. Customers can take the equipment to any UPS store, or they can ship it for free. Customers can also visit local solution stores to drop off and pick up new equipment. We realize that the UPS store and mailing and shipping may take a few days or longer to actually be able to visit and return that equipment, but just know that, that is one option. We're pleased to announce that our solution stores on Elysians Fields and Veterans Boulevard are now open today. Our retail location on La Palco Boulevard remains closed, but we hope to get that up and running soon. Customers will not be charged for any damaged equipment. And just a few more reminders. If your neighbors have service and you do not, try rebooting your device by unplugging the equipment, waiting 10 seconds, and plugging it back online. You can also reboot by visiting Cox.com. Although power is restored to your area, sometimes the node source that provides Cox services to your neighborhood may have been damaged. So that's the scenario when you have power, but you might not have your Cox services. And also in that scenario, it's possible that power or the cable lines could also be damaged between the node or the neighborhood equipment hub and your home. Our technicians are diligently checking line by line to ensure all of your services are restored properly. At one point, we may even need to get into your home and check out your equipment and determine if that's damaged and if that's the reason. Maybe a power surge took your equipment down. We want to thank you again for your patience with us. We would like to refer you to cox.com/hurricane for updates. Residents can get more information there about frequently answered questions or asked questions and receive updates and also chat with our live representatives. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you so much, Ms. Truxillo. Next, Regional Director for External Affairs from AT&T, Mr. Eric Jones.
Once again, I want to thank Parish leadership for the engagement throughout the restoration process. I also want to thank our technicians and teams in the field working to make repairs for our customers, both those who call Louisiana home and those from out of state. We continue to make progress on our wireline restoration. Of the wireline customers where we know service was impaired, more than 86% have their service restored. And our teams will continue to work until all services are restored. While equipment that services our neighborhood can be powered and online, we may not be aware of specific in-home service impairments until customers return to their home and commercial power is restored. In addition, disruptions to commercial power can affect service for our customers even once our repairs are made. Currently, our wireless network is operating normally within the parish and will continue to improve statewide as our crews optimize the facilities. We have experienced limited wireless service impacts that are primarily caused when our lines are accidentally cut during debris cleanup and other restoration efforts. While we have not seen this type of impact in Jefferson Parish today, we cannot emphasize enough how important it is that those working on cleanup after the storm please not cut any lines on the ground nor disrupt equipment, whether generator or other infrastructure. Over the course of the storm recovery, we have responded to more than 74 requests from first responder agencies and currently have 22 on-air solutions assisting them in their recovery efforts. We continue to provide relief to customers and have charging stations across the community to support those who have been displaced or remain without power. Customers experiencing issues with AT&T service can reach us at att.com, on my ATT app, or over the phone. Most customers who call us also have the option to receive a callback at their personal convenience. Customers looking to reach us via phone can contact us 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at 800-331-0500 for wireless support or 800-288-2020 for internet support. In addition, our retail stores are reopened and servicing customers. You can see hours and locations at www.att.com/stores/Louisiana. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Jones. Next, our Director of Emergency Management, Mr. Joe Valiente.
Thank you, Madam President. So I just want to remind everyone that the EOC will remain partially activated, and our critical support functions that are still supporting the missions that are active out there in our community will remain on duty until those missions are completed, and that's 24 hours. Also, again, the non-emergency number is 349-5360, 349-5360. I want to take a moment to thank the following groups, and this is important to me. I want to thank my entire emergency department staff, who I thought performed flawlessly, and they were tired and they never gave up. I want to thank the men and women that were assigned to the various emergency support functions in our EOC, because they were the heartbeat of the support that we were lending out to all the first responders and all the agencies that were working to solve our problems. I want to thank the Jefferson Parish directors who were activated and coordinated their workforce to complete our requested assignments. They never faltered once. They never denied us one request. They were always there. I also want to make a special thanks to our first responders, our firefighters on both banks, our sheriff's department, who was just incredible, and our EMS services. And finally, I want to thank every state and federal agency who helped support our mission. So again, thank you to all those people. Like my boss, Parish President, always says, this is a team effort, and we certainly worked as a team. So thanks again.
Great job. Thank you, Joe. Next, we'll have our East Bank Fire Chief, Chief Dave Tibbetts.
Thank you, Madam President. First off, I'd like to start by sending out a big thanks to all the emergency responders, everyone that's part of this team, but especially the emergency responders and law enforcement, fire, and EMS, who have been, as Joe just said, non-faltering through this whole process. But back to work. We still have some numbers coming in for carbon monoxide responses. We're at about 13 from midnight till now. We're going to stay on top of that. I still continue to roam the streets and look for them, and we found some generators today in some apartment complexes where we took it as an opportunity to educate people. So we've been busy through this, and I had a young man stop me just the other day, and he said, "You're the guy that gave homework." So that seemed to have stuck with things. So we're going to have a final exam. So what I want you to remember, when events like this take place, that we go through different phases. And one phase that we're about to go through is what I call the dimming of the lights. The camera lights are going to start dimming. But what we have to do as a community is that we have to keep our generator safety awareness light shining brightly. So keep that thought. Remember that RAIN acronym. Recognize something's not right. Avoid it. Isolate it. Notify somebody. And we'll get through this as well as we did for the next time. We'll be prepared. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Tibbetts. Next, from Marrero Harvey Volunteer Fire Company, Chief Don Robinson.
Thank you, Madam President, and I'll be brief because Chief Tibbetts touched on a lot of things that I wanted to talk about. I just want to remind everyone also there was a serious fire in Terrytown last night with a food trailer with propane. Propane is LPG, liquid propane gas. It is a very flammable gas. Again, if we are using propane at our home for cooking, please be very careful for that. Just like Chief Tibbetts said, remember we are still running generators. Remember the generator safety that we set out there. Like Sheriff Lapinto said, I want to thank the firefighters that were out there on the street from day one. Today, the West Bank firefighters in the 3rd District Volunteer Fire Company assisted with water and ice distributions. Tomorrow, the West Bank firefighters will be in those 2 locations at the fire station in Avondale on South Jamie and in Wagman on Azalea to assist with the distribution of water, ice, and MREs. Firefighters on the West Bank, thank y'all for y'all services that y'all accomplished during this storm. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Okay, Mark Drews is our next speaker, Director of Public Works.
Thank you, Madam President. And tonight I'd like to give an individual shout out to our Public Works departments. Our Drainage Department, who was pumping throughout the storm event and immediately after began to clean debris from our major canals and eventually moved to cleaning catch basins, and immediately after also send crews down to Lafitte to assess their pumping capacity to start restoring our permanent pumps and bringing temporary pumps to start to drain Lafitte. Our engineering department, the traffic division, who immediately after the storm started installing temporary stops at all our major intersections and then continued to restore our traffic signal systems. Our SCADA division, which also started to repair all the damages to our remote sensing equipment which sends that vital information back to our personnel in water, water, sewer, and drainage that helps them properly operate their systems. Our warehouse division that continuously supply materials to our public works crews. Our street lighting division, who began the restoration of our street lighting system. Then we move on to our environmental department, who has been coordinating the efforts to get that debris vegetation pickup started and to get the resumption of our garbage collection, to get that resumed and going. In addition, they also made sure that our mosquito control operations continued post-storm. Our parkways department, which was tasked with clearing the streets from all of those downed trees, a monumental task as we had about 1,000 trees down. Our sewer department, who the very next day was out putting portable pumps and portable generators at our lift stations and quickly responded to any overflows throughout this event. Our streets department, who was responsible for immediately clearing debris from our roadways and continued by helping parkways to clear those trees. Our water department, who from day one began restoring broken water mains, a total of over 200 that they've been working on, and they coordinated with our water plants to quickly restore pressure so that we could fight fires and eventually just 1 week later remove those boil water advisories. And finally, our public works rehabilitation employees, who instead of doing what they typically do, we needed them to help clear streets, and that's exactly what they did. So today, those crews have finished their 11th day of 12-plus hour services. They will complete a dozen tomorrow, and I guarantee we'll have the baker's dozen because they will continue to operate on the weekend to restore that infrastructure. And again, now I get to give an update on the positive improvements that they've made today. So we'll start with water. We restored 27 main breaks today. Unfortunately, we had 18 reports of new breaks today. It's just something that happens when you have restoration going on all throughout the parish. So right now, we still have about 40 main breaks that we will continue to try to resolve all of those and get them restored. With regard to those breaks, we are, again, prioritizing the breaks that have been out there the longest. So the people that have been without water the longest, we're trying to get those addressed as soon as possible. Grand Isle. Today we began restoration. We have 4 valve platforms with damage. That's along the 30-mile run of pipe that goes from Lafitte to Grand Isle where we pump water. So we're working to restore those valve damages. On Lafitte, that booster pump station is operating under generator power. It's pushing the water to Grand Isle. The pump station that receives it there is also under generator power. Unfortunately, its purification equipment is a total loss. So we will be pumping water to Grand Isle, but it will be non-potable for the foreseeable future. Again, we started those operations of trying to secure that main line that goes from the Birch Lane pump station to the Chigasola Lane fire station. They were successful today in closing all of the water shutoffs for any damaged property not capable of receiving water so that they can maintain the pressure in that line. So that was accomplished today. With regard to sewer, as I've said, our 5 sewer treatment plants were continually operating after the storm on generator power. We now have 3 of those up on Entergy power. The good news is that we have 400 of our 530 lift stations now on Entergy power. And when you combine that with another 82 lift stations on portable generators or portable pumps, 94% of our stations now have pumping capabilities. So tomorrow, the good news is you are no longer have to conserve that water going down the drain. You can resume normal water operations at your house. With regard to streets and parkways, we cleared 36 locations today, 4 of which involve allowing our water department to move in and begin repairs. We also took another 4 trees off of houses today. Ricky Template actually asked us today if we could assist with clearing some driveways down in Lafitte because as they cleared the roadways and pushed the muck out, well, guess what? It was blocking driveways, so Streets Department sent down 2 crews to assist with that. Streets is still continuing to sweep on the West Bank. They'll do that for the next couple of days. That's on our major roads. Then they'll switch to the East Bank and begin sweeping those major roads. With regard to traffic, 103 now of our 152 traffic signals are fully operational. That's 67% up from 44% yesterday. We still have 15 with power that we'll be repairing tomorrow, and unfortunately, we still have 34 at this time without power. With regard to drainage, again, our operations are concentrated down in Lafitte. All our pump stations in Lafitte are operating. They operated last night and all day today. The good news is our Goose Bayou 2 pump station is now operating at normal water level conditions, and sometime tonight, Goose Bayou 1 will also be operating at normal water level conditions. With regard to Barataria and Privateer Boulevard, again, our temporary pumps were functional all last night and today. Tomorrow, we're lowering the water in certain locations enough where we'll be able to take some of those pumps and relocate them to other areas in Barataria that need some help with pumping. With regard to the permanent Paylette pump station on Barataria, all three permanent pumps were actually pumping last night and today, and along with the two 8-inch pumps we installed today, they're operating as well. And regarding the Potato Levee breach, we will most likely be closing that breach tomorrow as the water level from the Paylette Canal is close to equalizing with the outside marshlands. Finally, we move on to Environmental Department. Today we had 61 debris trucks out collecting vegetative debris. That's up from 44 yesterday. We have 10 more certified trucks that should be on the road tomorrow, so we'll be up to 71. The East Bank and West Bank, the garbage collection, we are about a half day behind our normal schedule, so hopefully over the next couple of days we can get back onto that normal garbage collection route, so we'll be on time soon. With regard to bag waste, we had 5 recycling trucks that we had brought on to use for bag waste. Those continue. We were able to add 2 more trucks on the East Bank. That's on the East Bank, so we have 7 additional trucks just collecting bag waste. On the West Bank, we still have those 3 rear loaders collecting bag waste. That's 2 more than we typically have. And on Sunday, River Birch will have 10 trucks on Sunday just dedicated that day to collecting bag waste. So we're doing everything we can to expedite the pickup of the garbage. And that will do it for Public Works. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mark. Our next speaker is Chief Administrative Assistant Sarah Babcock.
Good evening. As everyone else has been thanking their departments, I just want to say thank you to a few people. For most of you know that I've only been in Jefferson Parish for a few months and I don't have any staff, but I have put plenty of other people to work over the past 2 weeks. And so everything from, West Jeff EMS providing ambulances, our transit department providing vehicles to get people around. The Jefferson Parish Park and Rec Department has just done a fantastic job running our shelters, and we're really thankful to have Red Cross here now to take over those operations. Librarians who have helped in many ways, even our council members who went and knocked on the doors of bedridden individuals who we were unable to contact by phone. Today, Kings Grant currently has 58 shelterees. We are expecting a few more this evening who we tried to take home. If they're finding their home is uninhabitable, then they're being brought back to that location. As I mentioned, the Red Cross is now currently running that operation and is prepared to open additional sites as needed. Today, we returned 182 individuals from Alexandria and Bastrop. These were people who had previously lived in Lafitte, were homeless prior to the storm, lived on the West Bank, who had power restored to their home, or lived in the Windhoven apartments. Tomorrow, we will be bringing back those individuals that live in Metairie Manor apartments, and people who live on the East Bank and had power as of around 7 p.m. last night. We need time to process that list and get enough buses lined up. Anyone else, so people who had power restored last night or today, will be brought back on Saturday. Our goal is to have everyone back Saturday, even if you need to spend a night in a shelter here locally. We also were able to bring one of our nursing homes back to town, and right now 12 of our 13 nursing homes are back on full Entergy power. We will still continue to run oxygen distribution for another day or two until the end of the power restorations take place. So this is still at Fire Station 20 at 4110 Hudson Street in Metairie and Fire Station 81 at 808 MacArthur Avenue in Harvey. If you have empty tanks from this process, please bring those back to us over the next day or two so that we can put those back into the cache of tanks that we will use for the next emergency. Switching over to COVID-19, as the parish president mentioned, we are continuing to see a high rate of COVID in our community. Our positivity right now is over 10%, so we have gone up in the past week or so. This is likely because the only people seeking tests at the moment are people who are symptomatic. We also had 10 new deaths to report today based on the Louisiana Department of Health website. So there's a number of new testing sites that have opened or will be opening over the next few days. Today, the National Guard reopened the testing site at McDonald Park at 900 Drake Avenue in West Wego. This operation will run Monday through Saturday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. It is an outdoor walk-up for the time being. AccuReference Lab actually was at our Kings Grant shelter today, tested everyone there to make sure we are not spreading COVID throughout that shelter, and the one person who tested positive has been relocated to another site. They will reopen their drive-through testing sites that we had pre-storm at Delta Playground and Bonneville Boat Launch. Those will run Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., Saturday and Sunday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. In addition, Priority Healthcare is currently offering testing and Moderna vaccines by appointment at 4700 Witchers Drive in Marrero. Inclusive Care is at 7001 Lapalco Boulevard in Marrero. They are doing rapid COVID testing and Pfizer vaccines from 8:30 to 12 every day. And finally, LCMC has reopened their Marrero and Clearview urgent cares that are open 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. for COVID testing and other urgent care services. Ochsner has also reopened all urgent care services. We will continue to be able to expand our testing and vaccine capabilities over the next few weeks as our healthcare system gets back to normal. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sarah. We're honored to have some of our council members here. I personally want to thank them and their staffs for really doing so much to help us with the storm, as Sarah said, the well checks, but so much for the donations and coordinating all of the food drives in their district and just really being another set of eyes and ears to help our directors out. So I want to thank them. So I want to invite any of them up to the podium who would like to address.
Thank you, Madam President. Dominic Impastato, Council District 4. I just wanted to say three things in closing this evening. First, while Madam President lifted the curfew to my niece, Nikki Josephine, who's been living with me for the last 2 weeks, it still means you need to get to bed. So probably starting now, because I know you're watching. But secondly, in terms of the feeding program that Parish President mentioned, I'm proud to say that on the East Bank, on the West Bank, Councilman Lee took charge of the West Bank feeding. On the East Bank, our office took the lead in getting the meals to families in need. Over the last 2 weeks, we've managed to give out, by our count, roughly 100,000 meals. We've seen roughly 30,000 cars come through Lafitte Park, which we coordinate as our main site. So we've gotten 100,000 meals between canned goods and hot meals into families who need it. And trust me, what we saw is the need was not based on race, was not based on economic status or profession or neighborhood. Everybody, it was universally needed. So I'm proud to say that we did that. Tomorrow will be our last two that are currently scheduled. If the need continues next week and beyond, we will reinstitute it, but our last two scheduled will be tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. In partnership with Second Harvesters Food Bank, who has brought out 18-wheelers of food each day
for that. Tomorrow, starting at 8 a.m. at Lafreniere Park, come in the West Napoleon side, and you'll exit from there. Then at 3 p.m. tomorrow, we will be distributing hot meals. It'll be jambalaya, sponsored by Bud Corson and Jim Nickel, and Deep South Blenders, who most of us who boil crawfish know that's the people who do Cajun Land crawfish boil. They're sponsoring this and cooking it. We'll have 2,000 plates of jambalaya to give out tomorrow starting at 3 p.m. All of that's been done and will be done tomorrow with the recreation staff, the Lafreniere Park staff, the Jeff Cap staff, all who have been all hands on deck. Our motto out there has been, we are all hands on deck, we are all in. From the day the storm hit to now, we've been all in the entire time. Which brings me to the last thing I want to say, which is I don't want, for those of you watching, I don't want the tone to suggest that this is over by any means. We're just perhaps transitioning to the next phase of our recovery, hopefully. We all knew as the lights went on, as Entergy was able to get our lights back on, our recovery was going to be put on a faster pace. We knew that's what was going to be the catalyst for our recovery. Now, AT&T and Cox, the pressure's kind of on you guys now. So, because we need our internet, we need our cable services, and they know that, and they have a plan in place to make sure that happens, much like Entergy did and executed quite well. But your council offices are still all in and all hands on deck. You're going to need us. We are there. Your parish is there. In terms of garbage collection, the parish did not hesitate to add additional contractors, additional trucks to make sure our garbage collection could get up to speed. Every time when we had tarps in parish warehouses, they got out to the public. Every resource our parish has had has been put in the hands of the public to make sure we could get this recovery going. That's not stopping now. So now, hopefully, as families have lights on, and those of you who don't, you will. And once you do, it's time to rebuild your house. As you have needs, whether it's code, whether it's construction, contact us and let us help you as best we can. When you go through your FEMA process, your insurance process, newsflash, there's going to be problems, okay? Rest assured, use us as your resource. If we don't have the answers, because maybe it's something that's not in our control, maybe we can point you to the right direction and get you to the resource that can give you the answers you need. We're there to help. Thank you, Madam President, to my council colleagues as well. I can promise you, ladies and gentlemen, the public, your council's all in all the time. We're here for you, and that's not going to stop till this is all complete. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam President, for letting me take the microphone again. I wanted to give a little update on our EOC. Our EOC has been in operation now for over 10 days. Our EOC, our Emergency Operations Center, is all of these departments, private and public departments. We've had the ability to thank them and those members. What they consist of are two different shifts, an A shift and a B shift, working 12 hours. And those 12 hours are often difficult. There's one person that doesn't get a 12-hour shift. It's a 24-hour shift. It has to be the glue that keeps it all together. We've had the ability to thank those other people that are out there. But one person that deserves a round of applause here is someone that's really stepped up in this time of tragedy here in Jefferson Parish, that's made sure our community has the leadership it needs in order to be able to survive. So I want to introduce you, thank you on behalf of all of us, all of our emergency operation members, for keeping us in line, for making sure the job gets done. On your final daily briefing closing, Parish President Cynthia Sheng. Thank you.
That's so very sweet. I just want to say I've never been on a better team. What you see on a daily basis, we're briefing you on the front-facing issues, the issues that you need to know. But what you don't know is so many other departments. And I've been working the storm along with everybody since the beginning. Every day I learn about a new group of people doing something different that I didn't even know about, and I'm paying attention. So it's incredible the amount of resources and people doing cross jobs, or really and just willing, I need this, I got it, I need this, I'm calling somebody, and that's been days and days across government departments that has been happening at a frantic pace. So I'm somebody on the inside looking out, and I'm telling you, no group of people have worked harder. And I'm not saying that because I'm a politician. I'm saying that because I lived it with these men and women behind me in all of our departments. No questions, no complaints. We were doing what we needed to do. And one day we're going to you're going to see a list of everybody who did things and what they did, and you will be amazed. I'm not just saying that. You will be amazed at how we were able to put this community back together so quickly. And as Councilman Passato said, we're not forgetting anybody. We know some of you have nothing left. You will not be forgotten. I also wanted to say that my father worked for Katrina, did that work, and many of the people here that we served with worked for Katrina. And what they did is they saw the horrors of that storm, and they fought for additional resources for us years to come. And we were the beneficiary of that. Our low death rate for this storm is because of the work they did. And it is our obligation here to pay it forward. And when things calm down, we will fight for additional resources. We'll look at the models. As we know, the contraflow model is old. Obviously, we didn't have time for that. These storms are coming at us more frequently and quicker, and we have to relook at all of that, because if this is the new world we're in, we got to relook at things. So our commitment is not just to get our community back together, but I want to make sure my grandchildren are safe, and I hope it's a long time before we see another storm. So thank you for tuning in, and I'm honored to work with these people, but so many more, thousands of people that have worked these past couple days